The most fortunate thing to ever happen to the cold-blooded Snake King was being pushed off a 10,000-foot cliff after his limbs were broken. Only when he was about to freeze to death did he meet Sucha, who had transmigrated there. She became his first father, not only healing his broken body, but also helping him evolve into a powerful, stone-ranked serpent beast. At this very moment, Sucha opened her eyes to the sound of sharp mockery. "You're a creature who can't even transform into a beast, yet you dare to steal Yongshi's mate?" A sharp pain in her head made her realize she was injured. Before she could figure out what was happening, a giant three-tailed white fox lunged at her. Sucha quickly rolled over, dodging the attack that would have killed or crippled her. She then picked up a bone knife larger than her hand. All she wanted was to quickly resolve the current situation. Well, Sucha is ready for a life-or-death struggle. A person in the crowd sneered, quote, "A useless wretch is a useless wretch. This is a duel to the death. Of course she's gonna risk her worthless life." The girl with the fox ears, Hu Yue, didn't think Sucha had a chance and continued to laugh smugly. As soon as she finished speaking, the crowd erupted in a new wave of excitement. Sucha, fighting off her dizziness, nimbly dodged a series of deadly attacks. Taking a breath, she finally found an opportunity to counterattack. She thrust the bone knife forward. The white fox quickly moved, and the knife barely grazed the fox's left arm. However, to everyone's surprise, Sucha followed up with a powerful kick, sending the fox, several times her size, flying. The white fox hit the ground hard and transformed back into a silver-haired girl. She curled up in pain, clearly unable to fight anymore. Sucha also knelt on the ground, gasping for air, as she slowly absorbed the memories in her mind. A voice of disbelief suddenly rang out from the crowd. "Yongshi actually lost? Isn't Sucha that useless wretch who can't even transform? How is this possible?" From her memories, Sucha found the names of the two people in front of her, Hu Xiao and Hu Yue. One was Yongshi's loyal follower, and the other was her best friend. Unfortunately, they had lost. Next, it's your turn. Sucha's gaze fell on the two stunned individuals. She hadn't forgotten the insults they had just thrown at her. She wasn't one to take abuse. Hu Xiao is a 4th-rank beastman. You dare to challenge Hu Xiao? You're completely delusional. Before Hu Yue could finish her sentence, Sucha kicked her away. You talk too much. Sucha glanced at the unconscious Hu Yue, her eyes filled with arrogance and defiance. Seeing this, the crowd wisely pulled Hu Yue out of the fighting ring, leaving only Sucha and Hu Xiao. Hu Xiao, his face filled with rage, immediately transformed into his beast form and struck out with a palm. Sucha dodged it, but her arm was still grazed. Sucha's brows furrowed, and her gaze became serious. I need to end this quickly. The physical strength of this body is draining fast. Sucha maximized her speed, using her agility to avoid Hu Xiao's attacks as much as possible. Suddenly, she spotted a fleeting opening. The girl executed a clean backflip, her silhouette appearing perfectly above the tiger's body. In the next instant, Hu Xiao fell to the ground in a heap. Before he could react, a sharp dagger was pressed firmly against his throat. "Who's the useless wretch now?" the crowd gasped. Oh my god! Sucha not only defeated Yongshi, but even the 4th-rank beastman Hu Xiao. Didn't they say she was a useless wretch who couldn't transform? Doesn't that make Hu Xiao? The voices around him amplified the humiliation in Hu Xiao's heart. He couldn't accept that he had been defeated by a useless female. A low growl of defiance escaped his lips. A loss is a loss. That's the rule of the Beast Warrior. Are you going to defy it? The panic that had once been on Sucha's face was now gone. At that moment, a voice from the crowd intervened just in time. "Hu Xiao, you must accept your loss!" Hu Xiao came to his senses and quickly transformed back into his human form. He stood up, still glaring angrily at the girl in front of him. "Fine! I admit defeat! I'm the useless wretch, okay?" Sucha scoffed, put away her dagger, and looked at the person who had spoken. It was a handsome male beastman, with delicate features and a gentle, refined aura that made people feel as if they were in a spring breeze. The man's name, Mose, appeared clearly in Sucha's mind. He was a 5th-rank white tiger beastman and the next in line to be the tribe's leader, as well as the original owner's childhood sweetheart. But after just one glance, Sucha looked away. Hu Xiao stood behind Mose and grumbled, "So what if you won? Mose would never choose a venomous female like you as a mate." Mose frowned and looked at the girl in the ring, who was a completely different person from before. He awkwardly began, "Sucha, Yunshi and I," but he was cut off by a sneer. Sucha casually wiped the sweat from her forehead not even sparing him a side glance. A fickle scumbag? Whoever wants him can have him. Stealing a mate, that's not a thing for me. A scumbag who didn't love the original owner but still strung her along was only worthy of someone with a brain like the original owners. Ignoring Moses' darkened expression, Sucha turned and left. She needed to go back and treat her wounds. There was another tough battle to fight tomorrow, and she had to be well rested tonight. On the way back, Sucha had already figured out the whole situation. She never thought such a bizarre thing would happen to her. One moment she was rescuing the wounded on a battlefield, and the next, a bomb sent her into this beast world novel. The female protagonist was a supremely gifted Fox tribe female, Tu Young-ji, while the original owner, this wicked female side character, not only had her childhood sweetheart Mose stolen by the protagonist, but was also tricked into marrying a severely ill Snake Tribe beastman, Kang Yuan. But who would have thought that this seemingly dying Snake Tribe husband would one day become the biggest villain in the entire book, only to die tragically at the hands of the male and female protagonists. And the wicked female side character wouldn't survive past next winter. Today was supposed to be the marriage ceremony between Young-shi and Mose. The original owner, in her delusion, went to steal him, proposing a duel with Young-shi. The winner would get to marry Mose. Although the original owner won by a stroke of luck, she used underhanded methods, which left her badly injured. Pushing open the door of her dilapidated hut, she saw her villainous husband, Kang Yuan, with his stunningly handsome face, boiling medicine. In Sucha's memories, Kang Yuan always wore an icy expression, his eyes filled with nothing but disgust and indifference. As for Sucha's injuries, Kang Yuan simply frowned slightly and continued to boil the medicine. He already knew what Sucha had been up to. Sucha suppressed the urge to cover her face with her hand and walked straight to Kang Yuan, knocking over the medicine. In the next moment, she received a death glare from the villain. Sucha instinctively dodged the hand that was about to grab her throat and, sure enough, saw the cold-killing intent in Kang Yuan's eyes. What other tricks are you trying to play? With a little force, Sucha broke free from Kang Yuan's grip. The weak Kang Yuan fell to the ground. It was then that Sucha remembered that the original owner often took advantage of his weak and injured legs to bully him. She reached out to help the villain up, but Kang Yuan swat her hand away in disgust. Sucha wasn't one to beg for kindness. She just said coldly, "I'll make you new medicine later." With that, she turned and went to her room. Although they were partners, they weren't married. The original owner despised Kang Yuan for being useless, so she had bribed the medicine boy of the witch doctor to switch out Kang Yuan's medicine. This directly led to his legs not healing, eventually becoming infected and leaving him bedridden. It could be said that the original owner was largely responsible for this villain's descent into darkness. She was always trying to find a new way to die, testing the limits of death as if she were tired of living. But the current Sucha cherished her life very much. To survive, she first had to deal with her villainous husband. She could either eliminate him now, or build up his goodwill so he would let go of his hatred for her. Out of a sense of conscience, Sucha chose the latter. Looking at the empty room, where she couldn't even find common wound medicine, Sucha longed for her wealthy studio and her personal dimension. Suddenly, a light bulb went off. Sucha closed her eyes, and when she opened them again, they were filled with irrepressible joy. Her dimension had come with her, and all her resources were still there. She took out some medicine from her dimension, cleaned her wound, and after some thought, decided against using the fast-acting Western medicine and chose traditional herbal medicine instead. After all, the beast world primarily used herbs, and this would be less suspicious. Although she hadn't personally examined Kang Yuan's injuries, the book mentioned that his legs would become excruciatingly painful at night and on rainy days, so she simply prepared some medicine to nourish his body and relieve the pain. She would give him a thorough checkup when she had the chance. She placed the medicine on the stove to simmer, and then went to make food, only to find the kitchen was a barren wasteland. Besides a few sweet potatoes, some potatoes, and a small amount of rice, there was nothing else. Following the original owner's memories, Sucha went to the back mountain, caught 2 live fish in a stream, and used the ingredients she had to make a simple meal of 1 meat dish, 2 vegetable dishes, and 1 soup. When the meal was ready, Kang Yuan's medicine was also almost done. In the courtyard, he was using a bone knife to carve wood. Sucha wanted to call him for dinner but didn't know how. The original owner always called Kang Yuan useless. After a moment of hesitation, Sucha decided to skip the title altogether. "Dinner's ready, come eat." Hearing this, Kang Yuan looked up at Sucha with a slight hint of surprise. Unlike her usual disheveled appearance, she was now clean and tidy. Her light green dress was simple and elegant, and her whole demeanor had changed. This vicious woman was very wrong, extremely wrong. In the past, she either complained about his cooking or used his money to eat out. When had she ever cooked herself? After a long time, Kang Yuan struggled to move to the table. He was surprised to see that Sucha had already served him a bowl of rice, with a bowl of blackish-green medicine next to it. "I made you new medicine. It should help with your leg pain. Drink it before you eat," Sucha said casually without even looking up. Kang Yuan silently picked up his chopsticks and began to eat, leaving the bowl of medicine untouched. After she finished eating, Sucha put her bowl in the kitchen. The original owner was lazy and gluttonous, and she knew Kang Yuan would wash the dishes. She had no intention of mistreating a sick person. She just had used up too much energy, and all she wanted was to lie down and get some good sleep. Kang Yuan stared at the dishes on the table for a moment before he started to eat. He maintained his graceful eating posture, but a storm brewed inside him. How could this vicious woman's cooking be so delicious? These strange dishes, the fish from the stream that was supposed to be stinky, and the only potatoes left in the kitchen were all so tasty. Kang Yuan's expression was complex as he ate every last bit of the food, never touching the bowl of medicine. In the end, just like the medicine Sucha had knocked over earlier, it was poured out in the courtyard. The next day, Sucha was woken up by persistent knocking. She quickly got dressed and left her room, seeing Kang Yuan limping to the door. The moment the wooden door opened, a crowd surged in. "Seize them! They're the ones who stole from the warehouse!" With a command, 2 male beastmen charged at them. Sucha was quick on her feet, pulling out her bone knife and getting into a defensive stance. "Take one more step, and I won't be so nice." Many of the beastmen had been at the duel yesterday and were wary of Sucha's strength. The 2 beastmen looked toward the old beastman behind the crowd. Sucha's cold gaze first swept over Hu Yuer, who was standing at the front. Hu Yuer was shaken by Sucha's stare, then glared back angrily. Why should she be afraid? The ones who should be afraid were Sucha and that useless man. Finally, Sucha's eyes settled on the old beastman, clan leader Monian, a 6th-ranked tiger beastman, and also the male protagonist Moses' second uncle. Monian raised a hand, signaling the 2 beastmen to back off. He spoke sternly. "The warehouse was found to have been broken into today. A beastman said they saw you and Kang Yuan steal things yesterday, and a dog beastman also smelled the scent of a snake beastman in the warehouse." "Who saw it?" Sucha raised an eyebrow, her tone showing no signs of panic at being accused. "Yang Ying," Hu Yuer said triumphantly, with a look that dared her to confess. Sucha noticed a quiet, curly-haired female next to Hu Yuer. Yang Ying kept her head down, not daring to meet Sucha's gaze. Sucha didn't waste any time and stated that she had indeed passed by the warehouse, but it was to find Kang Yuan, and she didn't steal anything. Hu Yuer immediately laughed scornfully. "Looking for this useless man? You might as well say you were looking for Mose. If you're going to lie, at least make up a better excuse." Kang Yuan and Mose were both surprised by Sucha's statement. "Sucha, the items in the warehouse are the tribe's public property. They're meant to be distributed or traded for resources. Don't be so willful." Moses' gentle voice was full of a caring concern for others, but it just made Sucha feel disgusted. A crime that the clan leader was hesitant to confirm, Mose had already condemned her for with a few words. What was stolen from the warehouse? Sucha didn't even look at Mose, instead addressing the clan leader directly. Mose felt uneasy about Sucha's indifferent attitude toward him. When had the Sucha who used to hang on his every word become so cold? "Some dragon lean meat and a gemstone," Monian replied. Sucha then asked the stuttering Yang Ying, "Did you see me take these things from the warehouse with your own eyes?" Yang Ying looked up at Sucha, then quickly looked down. Before she could speak, the rude Hu Yuer interrupted. "Yang Ying already told me she saw it. Don't try to deny it. You couldn't possibly eat that much dragon meat." "A search will prove it. That is indeed the fastest way. To prove your innocence, you should let the beastmen go inside and take a look," the clan leader said fairly. Hearing this, Sucha looked at Hu Yuer and smiled. "Go ahead." Seeing Sucha's cooperation, the clan leader immediately sent people inside to search, specifically telling them not to damage anything. Hu Yuer raised her chin triumphantly, scoffing to herself, "You fool, just wait to be punished." The scene from the original book's plot replayed in Sucha's mind. The original owner had indeed snuck into the warehouse yesterday, but she had only stolen a love-changing herb to use on the male protagonist, Mose. Yang Ying was the original owner's only friend in the beast world, and she had witnessed everything by accident. Since she was indebted to the female protagonist, she slowly sided with her. In the end, Hu Yuer brought the people back, and they found the missing meat and gemstone in Sucha's house. No matter how the original owner explained, no one believed her. As a result, both she and Kang Yuan were punished with 30 lashes according to tribal law. This left the already injured original owner bedridden for 2 months. Kang Yuan ignored her, and she only survived because Yang Ying secretly helped her. This time, since Hu Yuer wanted to frame her, Sucha would make sure she got a taste of her own medicine. Soon, the beastmen who had searched the house came out, and they hadn't found anything. How is that possible? Hu Yuer shrieked in disbelief, then quickly fell silent when she realized what she had said. You what? You clearly saw me steal the meat? Or did you put it in my room yourself, which is why you're so sure a search would turn something up? Sucha's smile grew even wider. Hu Yuer acted as if her tail had been stepped on. Pointing at Kang Yuan behind Sucha, she yelled, "Stop talking nonsense! I clearly heard Yang Ying say you stole something from the warehouse. And the dog beastman said there was a snake beastman sent there. It has to be you or that useless man of yours. You must have hidden the stolen goods somewhere else so you wouldn't get caught." Sucha sneered, too lazy to argue with an idiot. If Kang Yuan had really wanted to steal something, would he have let anyone find out? Besides being powerful, Kang Yuan was unmatched in stealth in the entire beast world. I was at the witch doctor's place to get medicine yesterday, and passed by the warehouse. Kang Yuan said, his voice light and emotionless. But you're the only snake beastman in our tribe. The dog beastman really did smell the unique scent of a snake beastman in the warehouse. The clan leader paused, waiting for Kang Yuan to explain. Kang Yuan looked up and met Sucha's amused gaze. His expression wavered for a moment, then he returned to his usual, silent, aloof self. Seeing that Kang Yuan offered no explanation, Hu Yuer immediately became smug again. "See? I told you it was them, clan leader." "Quickly arrest them both," the clan leader pondered for a moment. "Since you have nothing to say, Kang Yuan, then—" "Wait," Sucha suddenly interrupted the clan leader. "But, clan leader, I want to speak to you alone." With that, Sucha leaned close to Monian and whispered a short sentence in his ear. Everyone watched as the clan leader's eyes widened slightly, and his expression became serious. He then looked at Yang Ying and asked, "Did you really see Sucha and Kang Yuan steal the dragon meat? Beastmen who lie will be punished." Hu Yuer immediately felt a sense of dread and interjected. "Clan leader, Yang Ying, I'm asking Yang Ying." "You be quiet," the clan leader said firmly, silencing the blustering Hu Yuer. He then looked at the timid Yang Ying with a serious expression. I just saw Sucha near the warehouse. I didn't see anything else," Yang Ying whispered. "Didn't you tell me you saw Sucha come out of the warehouse with your own eyes?" Hu Yuer grabbed Yang Ying's arm, furious. Seeing this, Sucha stepped forward and stood in front of Yang Ying. "Why are you so agitated? Did you steal the dragon meat? Are you angry because you have no one to pin it on? Are you covering for the real culprit? You two must be very close." Sucha's words struck a nerve with Hu Yuer, who immediately denied it. "How could that be? Don't talk nonsense, you useless wretch." At that moment, the clan leader gave Hu Yuer a meaningful look. "The thief isn't Sucha or Kang Yuan. Everyone, leave. We'll deal with this matter later." Hu Yuer breathed a sigh of relief, but before she could fully relax, a voice exploded like thunder in her mind. "Youngshi would never do such a thing. Sucha, you can't accuse people without cause. If you don't believe me, the clan leader can send people to search her place as well." Before Sucha could add fuel to the fire, Mose had already set the blaze himself. Sucha suppressed a smile. "Fine. Clan leader, please have people check her place, especially under the bed, and in any other places where things could be hidden." "Sucha, you can't target Youngsi just because of our personal conflict," Mose said. "Shut up and get lost," Sucha said with a look of disgust, cutting him off. She couldn't stand Mose's indecisive behavior. If he had been more decisive and cruel to the original owner, she might have respected him. A large group of people headed to Hu Yuer and Youngsi's homes. Hu Yuer, looking dazed, mechanically followed at the back of the group. As expected, in Hu Yuer's room, they found the uneaten dragon meat. However, Yongshi's room was completely clean. This didn't surprise Sucha. Youngshi was a cautious person. Even if she had been involved, she would have made sure to cover her tracks. In the end, Hu Yuer and her male companion were each punished with 30 lashes and had to apologize to Sucha on the spot. Watching Hu Yuer's gritted teeth and the hatred in her eyes, Sucha felt no guilt. In fact, she felt a little smug. As she was getting closer to home, she saw Yang Ying waiting at the door. The look of surprise in Yang Ying's eyes flashed, and then quickly faded to sadness. Sucha walked up to Yang Ying and just stood there, looking at her without speaking. Yang Ying stammered for a while, then suddenly knelt down in front of Sucha. Sucha, I'm sorry. I'm the one who told who you are. I'm the one who hurt you. It's okay, I don't blame you. Sucha wouldn't forgive her on behalf of the original owner, nor would she punish her. She was Sucha. Yang Ying was nothing more than a stranger to her now. Really? Yang Ying stood up, tears glistening in her eyes. Yes, you should go back now. I need to go in too, Sucha said indifferently, turning to enter the hut. After all that trouble, it was already noon. Thanks to Hu Yuer, she would get to eat dragon lean meat today. Sucha then pulled out the dark green stone from her dimension. The smooth stone had a hint of warmth, but she wasn't very interested in it. Sucha looked up at Kang Yuan, who was staring at the stone in her hand. She raised an eyebrow. Do you like it? Kang Yuan watched as the girl's eyes, slightly curved, filled with a hint of a smile. He was sure the old Sucha had never smiled like this. Even with Mose, she had never had this carefree look. But I think my eyes are prettier. It's for you. Kang Yuan took the flying object, a slight tremor running through him. A wave of warmth spread from his fingertips. He looked sharply at the female who was about to start cooking. Who exactly are you? Sucha's hands paused, then continued their work. She had expected that she couldn't hide from this perceptive snake. Since they would be together for a long time, there was no point in pretending to be the detestable original owner. I'm Sucha. Only the sound of chopping vegetables filled the air. Neither of them spoke. Kang Yuan's gaze was thoughtful. She hadn't said, I am Sucha, or my name is Sucha. She had simply stated, I'm Sucha. Sucha made 1 meat dish, 2 vegetable dishes, and a bowl of medicine. After eating, Sucha put away her dishes and went out. Kang Yuan, on the other hand, savored the delicious meal while pondering what kind of female would know how to cook, and so well at that. Sucha had just stepped out of the witch doctor's hut when she saw someone waiting at the door. She didn't even bother to look, walking straight past him. Seeing that Sucha was about to leave, Mose urgently grabbed her hand. Sucha's brows furrowed, and she was about to pull away. But as she was about to act, a sudden pain surged in her chest. At that moment, she realized she had to say a proper goodbye to the person the original owner had loved most. So Sucha stopped her movement and said coldly, let go of my hand. Whatever you have to say it quickly. Seeing Sucha's face soften, Mose slowly let go. Sucha, I've decided to form a partnership with Youngshi. This is my choice, and it has nothing to do with her. I hope you won't target her anymore. Take it out on me. Mose watched Sucha with a look of caution, afraid she would do something extreme. What is it about her that I can't compare to? A sharp pain radiated from her chest, but Sucha's voice was calm. Mose felt a flash of the old Sucha, the one who had tirelessly chased after him. After a long pause, he said, I feel something different with Youngshi. The moment I saw her in the snow, I knew she was the one. Ha! A childhood sweetheart can never beat a sudden encounter. A long-standing bond can't compare to a love at first sight. It's never about comparison. It's just about not being the right person. I hope you get what you want, and I hope I can completely give up on you. From now on, Sucha and you are quits. Don't disgust me again, or I won't be so kind. The first part of her speech was for the original owner, the second for herself. As the oppressive feeling in her chest slowly faded, she knew that the soul that had been crazy with love had finally departed, leaving behind a heart full of scars. Mose could no longer see the burning passion in Sucha's eyes. All he saw was endless coldness and disdain. He stood in place, his throat tightening, unable to utter a single word. He could only watch as her resolute silhouette faded into the distance. This scene was witnessed by a pair of eyes filled with fury in the distance. If it weren't for Sucha, she and Brother Mose would have already been partners. Even now, when she had taken the initiative to ask, Brother Mose had gently rejected her. Bei-shin, bring Sucha to me, Yunshi said to the man behind her. It seems I have to force his hand. The man said nothing. A glimmer of fine light flashed in his amber eyes as he turned and disappeared into the depths of the forest. A woman possessed a powerful serpent mate, yet she never slept with him. This was because she only ever wanted to marry her childhood sweetheart. So on the day of the female lead and her sweetheart's marriage ceremony, the woman planned to use underhanded tactics to win him. But the outcome was completely beyond her expectations. Sucha transmigrated in a flash, T aching over the original host's body. After absorbing all of her memories, Sucha scoffed. The idea of becoming a sacrifice for the male and female lead's love story was a joke. She didn't mind being even more malicious, as long as it completely derailed the plot. In the courtyard, the female lead, Youngshi, was sitting quietly at a small pearwood table. A tall beastman, Mudsheng, stood beside her. He was a 5th rank snake beastman and the 2nd male lead. When Sucha's gaze swept over him, a hint of understanding flashed in her eyes. Youngshi secretly observed Sucha's expression, then slid a cup of fruit wine toward her. She took a sip from her own cup. Brother Mose is the male I have my eyes on. Even if you win the duel, he won't choose you. Youngshi's usual gentle demeanor was gone, replaced by a pair of peach blossom eyes filled with displeasure and jealousy. I already told you. Whoever wants him can have him. Don't drag me into it. It disgusts me, Sucha replied, equally impolite. Sucha, stop pretending to be so pure. Don't play these coy games anymore. Do you really think Brother Mose would fall for that? What are you trying to warn me about? Sucha casually picked up the wine cup. The fruit wine's delicate aroma was intoxicating. However, in the next second, Sucha did something unbelievable. She suddenly twisted her wrist, and the pale green fruit wine spilled onto the ground. Seeing this, Youngshi was completely enraged. The fruit wine was precious. If not for the special circumstances, she would have never wasted such a strong love potion blend on this useless woman. Who are you trying to trick? Sucha calmly placed the white jade cup on the table. Youngshi was stunned for a moment, but then her lips curved into a smile. I just wanted you to see your place in Brother Mose's heart, that's all. Sucha wasn't interested in playing games with her anymore. She turned to leave, but Mu Beichin blocked her path. Mu Beichin, you're still injured. Are you in such a hurry to die? Mu Beichin hesitated for a moment, but continued to follow Youngshi's instructions. Sucha easily dodged his attack and, without hesitation, sprinkled the medicine powder on him. Youngshi saw Mu Beichin collapse instantly and rushed to check on him. When she realized he was just asleep, a malicious smile appeared on her face. Sucha, you didn't think that the love herb only works if you swallow it, did you? Youngshi's eyes flashed with venom. A love herb mixture absorbed through the skin for over a minute is just as effective. She wanted Sucha to experience the humiliation she had felt at the wedding ceremony. She wanted her to watch as Mose, and she got married. You really are a maniac, Sucha said, suddenly feeling a noise swirling inside her. She forced herself to break through the courtyard gate and ran out. Mose, who had heard the commotion, saw Sucha's panicked figure. He wanted to ask what was wrong, but another voice interrupted him. Brother Mose, I feel so unwell. The soft, gentle voice was full of emotion. No one who heard it could walk away. Mose glanced at Sucha's retreating back, but ultimately turned and walked toward Youngshi. Meanwhile, Sucha immediately pulled out a pill to counteract the symptoms and plunged into the pond with a splash. Though winter had just ended, the water was still bitterly cold. Sucha held her breath and dove deep, only resurfacing when she couldn't hold it any longer. The heat in her body was eroding her consciousness inch by inch. The mix of icy water and internal heat was a physical and mental torment. From a distance, Kang Yuan's dark green eyes, as deep and fathomless as the pond, watched her. After some time, the heat inside her finally dissipated. Sucha weakly climbed out of the pond. She took a cold medicine from her dimension, changed her clothes, and waited for her strength to return. Just then, a strange presence slowly approached. There were so many better ways to do this, yet you chose to endure this torment. You're an interesting female. The playful tone and gender-neutral voice told Sucha exactly who it was, without her even having to turn around. You're more interesting, she said. The female you like is marrying another male, and you're here wandering around? Mu Beichin was speechless. After a moment of silence, he spoke again. What did you use to make me lose consciousness? As an independent assassin, ordinary poisons had no effect on him. He was shocked that a female had taken him down in a single move. Life-saving skills are not to be shared, Sucha said, giving him a cold look. She had no reason to be nice to a beast man who had just tried to attack her. Mu Beichin fell completely silent. It was impossible to have a conversation with this female. When she had recovered enough, Sucha stood up and dusted off her skirt. Mu Beichin finally noticed how good Sucha looked in her green dress. Unlike Youngshi's pure and sweet beauty, Sucha possessed a striking and unique charm. If it weren't for her reputation as a wicked and untransformable woman, she would have been very popular with the males. Sucha pulled out the bone knife she carried and turned to Mu Beichin. Are you still gonna try to catch me? Mu Beichin raised an eyebrow. The medicine's effects are gone. What's the point in catching you now? But he still put on a mischievous smile. "Do you really think you can beat me?" He had heard about her impressive feat yesterday, but assumed it was an exaggeration. How strong could a beastman who couldn't even transform be? Then, the serpent beastman, who had just been so scornful, fell to the ground in shock. "Let me tell Youngshi that I, Sucha, am not a pushover." Sucha blew the dust off her hands. In her previous life, she had been the military's most skilled doctor. Even the villain, Kang Yuan, the most powerful snake, had a poison in him. Making an ordinary venomous snake unconscious was a piece of cake. Sucha then used her bone knife to cut Mu Bichen's finger and unapologetically filled a bottle with his blood. As soon as she got home, Kang Yuan's keen senses picked up the serpent beastman's scent on Sucha. He didn't say anything, however, and just continued eating. Seeing that Kang Yuan had made dinner, Sucha didn't hesitate to serve herself a bowl. After she finished, she washed her own bowl and went to sleep. As expected, the original owner's body was terribly weak. Even after taking cold medicine, she still had a low fever. Her head felt heavy when she woke up. In a daze, she drank a bowl of porridge and didn't bother to wash the bowl. Kang Yuan looked at her in surprise but didn't say anything, and washed it himself. He then watched Sucha take medicine from her room and start boiling it. Ever since he found out she was dumping his medicine, this female had stopped boiling it for him and just left the herbs in the kitchen. Seeing her flushed face, Kang Yuan guessed that Sucha might have gotten sick from being in the water for too long yesterday. He watched her silently. A female could easily die from illness. Why would she rather endure all this than find a male partner? "Don't you have anything else to do?" Sucha's voice was filled with annoyance. She was just boiling her own medicine, not trying to harm him. Why did he need to watch her so carefully? Kang Yuan felt a bit awkward, but his expression didn't change. "You're a witch doctor?" Sucha yawned lazily. She wasn't a witch doctor in the beast world, as that required a title given in the central city. At most, she was an unlicensed practitioner. "But the medicine I prescribe isn't any worse than a witch doctor's. You haven't taken your medicine for days. In half a month, you'll be bedridden. It has nothing to do with you." Kang Yuan replied coldly, as if he didn't care whether he lived or died. Sucha chuckled softly and said no more. If her guess was correct, he'd rather wait for his beastman friend Xian to return than trust her. But Xian wouldn't return with the Fox Tribe's witch doctor. Instead, he would bring news about the Holy Spring. Even if the villain could hold on until then, the damage to his legs would be irreversible. After taking her medicine, Sucha planned to go to the clan leader's place to get some salt. Along the way, all she heard about was Yongki and Moses' marriage. However, whenever this perfect couple was mentioned, people couldn't help but mention the failed Sucha. Sucha ignored them and walked right past. But there was always someone who had to be rude. "How does it feel, you useless wretch? Your heart must be broken," Huyur said smugly. "I told you your wishes were delusional, but you wouldn't listen. Now you know, don't you?" "Whether my heart is broken or not is none of your business," Sucha said. "You're back on your feet so quickly. Did they go easy on you with those 30 lashes? Her words immediately made Huyur snap. "You'll get what you deserve in the end." The commotion quickly attracted the attention of Youngshi and Mose. Youngshi gracefully walked over with Mose, asking gently, "What are you two doing here?" "It's just this useless Sucha," Huyur said, twisting the truth. "I kindly reminded her that young Master Mose is already partnered, and she got mad and told me to mind my own business." Hearing this, Youngshi pulled Mose closer and whispered, "Brother Mose, this is between us girls. Please step away for a moment. I'll talk to Sucha about what happened yesterday." Youngshi looked sweet and demure. She even gave Mose a kiss on the cheek. Once Mose was gone, a look of undisguised triumph appeared on Youngshi's face. "Sucha, do you see your place in Brother Mose's heart now? Are you finally giving up?" Sucha was too tired to explain that she didn't like Mose anymore. She just said coldly, "Does getting what you want through such means make you feel superior?" Youngshi simply assumed Sucha was being a sore loser. "So what? The result is always more important than the process. I don't care what methods you use to get what you want, but the premise is that you don't provoke me," Sucha said, moving a little closer to Youngshi. The last few words were spoken slowly and coldly. The next second, a crisp slap echoed through the air. Youngshi stared in disbelief at the person who had hit her. But Sucha didn't care about Youngshi's shock. So what if Youngshi was the female protagonist of this world? She wasn't the idiot original owner who let people bully her. If the female protagonist stayed in her lane and didn't bother her, everything would be fine. Otherwise, she wouldn't hesitate to be more malicious and make the plot unravel completely. After enduring an entire afternoon of torment yesterday, a single slap was getting off easy. Quote, "Sucha, you're crazy. Why would you hit her for no reason? Hu shrieked. Mose also noticed the commotion and pulled Yoongshi into his arms. He tenderly wiped the blood from the corner of her lips. Brother Mose, it's my fault, Yoongshi said, not finishing her sentence before she began to sob in his arms. She said nothing, yet she seemed to say everything. Sucha felt a flock of crows fly over her head. This acting was a masterpiece. However, Mose's eyes held a hint of anger as he looked at her. Sucha, don't think I won't lay my hands on you. In a place where Mose couldn't see, Sucha saw Youngshi's lips curl into a triumphant smile. Sucha returned her smile. You think you're the only one who can act? Mose, you don't know, Sucha said, looking down. Yesterday, Youngshi put the love herb on both herself and me. Youngshi has you, but what about me? Do you know how much pain I had to endure to suppress it? Her voice had just the right amount of trembling. However, she couldn't bring herself to call him Brother Mose. Mose was moved, and a look of guilt unconsciously appeared in his eyes. Just then, people called by Hu surrounded them. You're making things up, Huxiao said, twisting the facts. How could Youngshi poison you? You were the one with the malicious plan and got what you deserved. Many people believed him. After all, the original host had a track record of being manipulative. For a moment, everyone looked at Sucha with suspicion. Mose, even if others don't believe me, you do, don't you? I only wanted to drug you. The love herb in my hand is for males. How could it affect a female? Sucha even felt a little sick to her stomach from her own words, but she endured it to disgust Yoongsi. Brother Mose, maybe there's more than one love herb, and Beichin was there too. Don't you believe me? Tears welled up in Youngshi's eyes. She looked to Mu Beichin for help. Sucha followed her gaze and saw Mu Beichin standing brazenly in the crowd. Everyone noticed that this beastman, who was clearly not from their tribe, was dressed lavishly and had several beast tattoos on his arm, signifying his high rank. Mu Beichin was about to step forward and speak for Youngshi, but then he saw Sucha raise her hand and twiddle her fingers, a silent threat in her eyes. If this lapdog snake dared to ruin her plan, she would drain his blood, dry him, and study him as a specimen. This action successfully made Mu Beichin's sarcastic smile freeze. He couldn't help but remember the last 2 times he had lost face. A dignified 5th-rank snake beastman being threatened by a female who couldn't even transform was a huge humiliation. If word got out, how could he ever show his face again? I don't know anything, Mu Beichin said, shrugging helplessly. He gave Youngki an apologetic look. With that, everyone's attention turned back to Youngsi, who now looked heartbroken. Tears streamed down her face, and her swollen cheek made her look even more pitiful. Even Sucha couldn't stand it. All right, it was just a slap. I've taken a lot more than that before. Mose's expression grew even more guilty. He kept wiping away Youngi's tears. Finally, to Youngi's reluctance, the farce came to an end. Sucha then went to the clan leader's place to trade for some coarse salt. Lately, she had been using the fine salt from her dimension. But since it wouldn't last forever, she decided to learn how to refine her own. Since it was the weekend, the tribe also handed out some meat. Sucha got a piece of beef and some lean pork, and she also asked for some bones that the beastmen had discarded. Afterward, Sucha went to the back mountain to find some medicinal herbs, and then to the river to get a bucket of rocks and sand. Kang Yuan watched Sucha's busy comings and goings, not knowing what she was doing. Finally, after the water evaporated, many white crystals appeared. It's the same as the coarse salt the Fishman tribe refines, Kang Yuan said, a rare look of shock in his usually cold eyes. To be precise, this is called coarse salt. The Fishman tribe also refines this kind. Fine salt requires repeating the refining process 2 more times, Sucha explained after tasting it. Do all the beastmen in your tribe know how to do this? Kang Yuan's emerald eyes narrowed as he focused on Sucha's calm face. Sucha knew he was testing her. No, she replied without looking up. Sucha divided the salt into 2 portions. She put one in the kitchen and the other in her dimension. Sucha cooked again for lunch. The savory aroma of the pork ribs filled the entire small courtyard. Just then, a knock came at the door. Sucha couldn't think of anyone who would come looking for her, or Kang Yuan. She opened the door and saw Mu Beichin leaning against the doorframe. He seductively ran his fingers through his hair. Hey there, little fee. Before he could finish, the door was slammed shut in his face. Mu Beichin rubbed his nose and muttered, When did I become so unpopular? The knock came again. Kang Yuan looked at Sucha, who was walking back as if nothing had happened. The 2 of them silently agreed to ignore it. But the next moment, with a loud bang, the entire wall on the right side of the hut collapsed. The sudden noise almost made Sucha drop her shovel. After putting the steak on a plate, she walked toward the courtyard with a dark expression. Kang Yuan immediately saw the awkward-looking Mu Beichen, his eyes filled with undisguised hostility. Sucha had the scent of this beast-man all over her from last night. Seeing Cheng Yuan, Mu Beichen smiled provocatively. "So you're the stray male partner of this little female?" Kang Yuan's eyes flashed with a cold light, but he remained silent. Suddenly, a bamboo chopstick flew past Mu Beichen's cheek. Mu Beichen dodged it and gave Sucha a charming smile. "Little female, this is a misunderstanding. I didn't think this wall would just fall with a touch. You don't know that you're not welcome here? And I have a name," Sucha said, disliking the term little female. It just sounded weird to her. "All right, from now on I'll call you Sucha," Mu Beichen said, completely ignoring the first sentence. "Mu Beichen, are you asking for death? If you fix this wall today, everything will be fine. If not, I'll tear you apart," Sucha threatened. Seeing Sucha reach into her sleeve again, Mu Beichen quickly nodded and agreed. No, I'll fix it right away." When he saw her expression soften, he shamelessly walked toward the source of the delicious smell. "What are you making that smells so good? Can I stay and eat first, then fix the wall afterward?" "No way." Sucha refused without hesitation. Mu Beichen looked hurt, clutching his chest and acting pitiful. "I almost fell out with my life-saving benefactor to help you. How can this female be so heartless?" Sucha raised an eyebrow, her expression clearly saying, "What does that have to do with me?" In the end, Mu Beichen gave up. "I'll pay you, okay? That I can barely accept. After all, I'm very short on money right now. It's not impossible, but it's very expensive to eat here. 20 beast coins per meal." Mu Beichen almost jumped. "Robbery isn't as bad as you are. 20 beast coins can buy so much meat." "Take it or leave it. If you don't want to eat, then go fix the wall and get out of my sight," Sucha retorted. Ultimately, unable to resist the tempting aroma, Mu Beichen gritted his teeth and pulled out 20 beast coins, putting them on the table. He was determined to see what this little female was making that was so expensive. Mu Beichen then sat opposite Chang Yuan and stared at him, grinding his bone knife. He tried to start a conversation, but Chang Yuan didn't even give him a glance. Mu Beichen completely gave up on communication and turned to stare at Sucha's busy back, muttering to himself, how did this ugly man get a female to like him? Suddenly, he felt a cold draft on his neck. He turned around, but all he saw was Kang Yuan's indifferent face reflected on the shimmering bone knife. Soon, Sucha finished cooking. She had considered that males liked meat and ate a lot, so she made a few extra pieces of steak. Mu Beichen had never seen such a delicious and colorful lunch. He immediately began praising her as he started eating. "Sucha, your food looks so good! Is it always this grand?" Sucha just rolled her eyes and silently ate her meal. As Sucha expected, the three of them ate everything, leaving no soup behind. Mu Beichen rubbed his satisfied belly. "Sucha, your cooking is amazing! I really want to take you back to my tribe to cook for me all the time." "You can't afford it," Sucha said without looking up as she collected the dishes. Mu Beichen clutched his chest and took 2 steps back. How can a mouth that says such things be 97 degrees Fahrenheit? Seeing Sucha's busy figure and glancing at the leisurely Kang Yuan next to him, Mu Beichen felt a sense of injustice. What kind of luck did this guy have to meet such a silly female? Quote, "Females are supposed to be pampered. How can you let Sucha do everything while you just sit here? You, as the male, should be doing this work," Mu Beichen said, feeling very annoyed. "Shut up and go fix the wall. You should spend your busybody energy on Yungshi instead of being in this situation." A voice from the kitchen shot back before Kang Yuan could even respond. Mu Beichen grumbled, "It's all because of you." He then cursed as he went to work on the wall. Kang Yuan looked at Mu Beichen's retreating figure, then back at the kitchen. His eyes sank as he continued to grind the bone knife in his hand. "Kang Yuan, where did you get that scale? Can I have it, or?" "No," Chang Yuan refused flatly. Seeing Sucha get shot down, Mu Beichen secretly snickered. It seemed the villain was still very cold toward her. Sucha was a person who went with the flow and didn't feel pressured. She turned around and gave the snake lapdog a hard glare. In the end, Mu Beichen paid 30 beast coins and hired 3 other beastmen to fix the wall. That night, the first spring rain began to fall. Remembering how the villain struggled during rainy nights, Sucha quickly headed to his room. She was hesitating whether to knock when she heard muffled thuds and groans from inside. Sucha didn't hesitate anymore. She took out her bone knife and pried open the door lock. The moment she opened the door, she was met with a pair of emerald green eyes tinged with red. Kang Yuan's lips were stained with blood, and his brow was furrowed. He was like a bowstring pulled to its limit. Sucha froze at the doorway, unsure whether to go in or retreat. The plot was already off track. What if the villain decided to kill her prematurely? Get out! Kang Yuan's low, hoarse voice was filled with deep hostility, like a lurking beast in the dark. But it seemed that even that single word had drained all his strength. Sucha hesitated, then walked to the bed. Seeing Kang Yuan biting his lip, holding back every sound, she felt a pang of pity for him. Sucha used her hand to pry open Kang Yuan's jaw and forced a painkiller into his mouth. Then she took his pulse. His pulse was erratic. His leg infection was flaring up, and the poison was taking effect. Sucha didn't know who had poisoned him. The original book had only mentioned that he had been poisoned during an important battle. Luckily, Sucha had seen a similar poison in her modern life. It was a torturous poison that acted up every month. It wasn't fatal, but made life unbearable. Sucha was amazed that such a poison existed in the beast world, and marveled at how the villain had endured it for over 2 decades. The painkiller only numbed the pain. Kang Yuan's body gradually calmed down, but he was still visibly trembling. Sucha took a few more herbs from her dimension and quickly boiled them into medicine. This medicine isn't cheap. If we weren't in the same boat, I wouldn't bother helping you, Sucha muttered, carrying the medicine into the room. At this point, Kang Yuan's consciousness was slowly returning. He subconsciously resisted the medicine, making it difficult to swallow. Seeing that Kang Yuan was getting better, Sucha was about to leave when he grabbed her wrist. His bony fingers were glowing with a faint blue light. Sucha knew this was a beast world's occupation mark. She turned over Kang Yuan's arm and, sure enough, saw 6 silver vertical lines on the inside of his forearm. So the villain was already this strong, but his physical condition prevented him from using his occupation power. When Kang Yuan woke up again, he felt a rare sense of peace. He, who was supposed to be up all night in pain, had finally gotten a good night's sleep. The familiar scent of a female lingered in the air. Sucha also woke up from his movement. The two of them stared at each other. Kang Yuan's eyes were as cold and dark as ever, while Sucha looked tired and lazy. "Let go," Sucha said, lifting her wrist, which was now red from his grip. Kang Yuan snapped out of his daze and awkwardly let go. Kang Yuan had a rough idea of what had happened last night, and he stared at the person on the floor, not knowing what to say. Sucha got up from the floor and yawned. "I can cure your injuries. Don't think about killing me to cover your tracks. I did help you, and you need me. I'm going back to sleep now. Lunch is your responsibility." With that, she left the room without looking back, leaving Kang Yuan alone to stare at her retreating back. Who is this female, he thought. She can sense the poison in my body, which many witch doctors can't. Does this mean she can help me get rid of this nightmare of 2 decades? But what is her motive? Kang Yuan looked at the blue light gathering on his hand, his emerald eyes as dark as an abyss. Sucha woke up at noon. After a quick meal of the food Kang Yuan had made, she left to gather herbs. When she returned from the mountain, she saw Kang Yuan waiting under a tree for her. "Sucha," Kang Yuan said. This was the first time he had called her by her name so seriously. Sucha answered him calmly, waiting for him to continue. "My injuries?" Kang Yuan's throat moved slightly, his voice filled with hesitation. He looked at Sucha's fair face in the sunlight. He remembered that this female was only 18 years old. Witch doctors were rare, and it took a long time to become one. But he immediately dismissed his own thoughts. She wasn't the original Sucha, and last night wasn't a dream. As Kang Yuan's confusion grew, Sucha looked at him seriously. "I can cure your poison, but it will take time and enough herbs. I can also fix your leg, but you'll have to endure a lot of pain. It's up to you whether you believe me or not." Sucha didn't expect him to drop his guard with someone who had once abused him, but if he agreed, she would use this as an opportunity to ask him for a favor. "Is it convenient to tell me your identity?" Kang Yuan didn't answer right away. Instead, he asked the question that had been bothering him. Sucha's expression turned cold. "No, it isn't." She had no interest in explaining her origins to others. Besides, no one would believe her anyway. Sensing his rising defensiveness, Sucha smiled uncaringly. "I have no ill will toward you. I just want to live a good life here." Kang Yuan didn't understand what Sucha meant. His snake tongue flickered. "What do you want?" "One favor," Sucha said, meeting his sharp gaze. "It won't endanger your life or cross your bottom line." "All right, I agree." Seeing that Kang Yuan was a man of his word, Sucha was straightforward. "Your leg needs to be treated as soon as possible. I'll need you to find me some longevity fruit. After the treatment, you'll need to rest in bed for a month. During that month, I can guarantee that the poison in your body won't act up again. I'll also need a tool. The scale I saw that day would be perfect. you don't want to part with it, you can grind some animal bone to the same thickness as the scale. Suchi's instructions were clear and concise. Kang Yuan listened silently, his heart surging with unbelievable emotions. He had thought he would live in suffering forever. The thought of an escape, a simple exchange, was such a huge luxury for him now. In the end, Kang Yuan didn't give Sucha his scale. Instead, he made her a small, curved knife. Just before the surgery, however, an accident happened. Ever since witnessing the Beast World's beast tattoos, Sucha had the sudden urge to test her strength. So she went to find Mu Bishan for a duel. The result was predictable. Mu Bishan, a 5th-rank beastman, was just too powerful. When Sucha was thrown to the ground again, she immediately stopped him. Her wrist was broken. Mu Bishan transformed back into his human form, his eyes no longer holding the old contempt, but a genuine admiration for Sucha. Sucha, you're pretty good. Even in my tribe, few people can last this long against me. But why don't you have a beast tattoo? He reached for her hand to check. Sucha gasped. If looks could kill, Mu Bishan would be dead right now. Let go! My hand is broken, you idiot! Get away from me! She pushed him away and unleashed a torrent of abuse at him. Sorry, I didn't know, Mu Bishan said, at a loss for what to do. Do you want me to take you to the witch doctor? I told you that you couldn't beat me, but you didn't believe me. Sucha rolled her eyes. She expertly reset her own bone, found 2 pieces of wood to act as a splint, and tied her arm up with cloth strips around her neck. Mu Bishan watched her, feeling a little guilty. Are you sure you don't need to see a witch doctor? I have my own medicine. I'll be fine in a couple of days. I'm going back now. You don't have to come over for a free meal these next few days. Mu Bishan watched her retreating figure thoughtfully. He rubbed his chin. When Sucha got home, Kang Yuan frowned at her disheveled appearance. Did that snake hit you? Sucha felt a bit guilty under Kang Yuan's usual cold gaze. No, I challenged him, and I got hurt by accident. I'm sorry, your surgery might have to be postponed. But my injury isn't serious. I'll be fine in a couple of days. Kang Yuan was surprised that Sucha had apologized. He froze for a moment, then said coldly, "It doesn't matter. As the saying goes, when it rains, it pours." Sucha was about to experience that firsthand. The witch doctor's daughter, Hululuo, had suddenly returned. The clan leader immediately announced that they would hold the first bonfire party of the spring to celebrate her coming-of-age ceremony. All single males and females in the tribe had to attend. Hululuo had once admired Mo's, but after a confrontation with Yungxi, she was impressed by her charm and personality. Not only did she give up on Mo's, but the two also became good friends. A bonfire party in the Beast World was the equivalent of a modern speed dating event. It was on this day that Mu Bishan would become Yungxi's male partner. Suchi knew that Yungxi and the others would try to cause trouble at the party. Unfortunately, her hand was broken, which would affect her ability to fight. The next day, after confirming that Kang Yuan had no intention of attending, Sucha went to the party alone. Before she even arrived, she was spotted by Yungxi and her group of female friends. Yungxi was the most dazzling of them all. Her long, silver hair was soft and silky, gleaming beautifully in the firelight. Hu Yuer was also dressed up in expensive furs, making her look like a peacock with its feathers spread. Another female caught Sucha's attention. She was Hululuo, the witch doctor's daughter. As the star of the night, Hululuo was surrounded by many females, laughing and chatting. "What's this? You're a cripple now?" Liulai said, looking at Sucha's arm in a sling. "How are you going to flirt with a male with a broken arm? You know there's free meat at the party," a chubby female beside her added. "That's right. It must be hard for a family with 2 useless wretches to get meat," Hu Yuer said. Several females burst out laughing. Sucha ignored them and walked to a quiet corner to sit down. Before the party started, everyone was free to mingle. Many males brought gifts to win the females. Hearts. Sucha was surprised to see a few good items and wondered if she could trade for them with her beast coins. When Sucha walked up to the male beastman with antlers, he was startled. Sucha's action also caused a stir among the surrounding beastmen. Whispers broke out. Is she interested in a 3rd-rank deer beastman? Since she can't even transform, she's probably looking for a lower-ranked beastman to increase her chances of finding a mate. Hearing these words, Sucha's face turned dark. You guys are so smart. The deer beastman, Luming, was also flustered. Just as he was at a loss, Sucha spoke. Hello, I was wondering if I could trade some of your onions. I have beast coins. Luming froze, then his face turned red and he stuttered. Why? Yes, you can. 3 beast coins for a big one, 2 for a small one. Sucha gave Luming 5 beast coins and took a large one and a small one. Before she left, she told Luming, I know you need these, so I won't take more. If you have any extra, you can bring them to my place tomorrow. Lu Ming was surprised that a female liked what he had dug up. So this round plant is called an onion. She's so pathetic she's trying to find a mate in a third-rank deer beastman? Hu Yuer said in a strange tone. Sucha rolled her eyes. Was this idiot a fox or a fly? Once again, Sucha ignored Hu Yuer and returned to her campfire, where she found 4 beastmen waiting for her, a middle-aged female and her 3 male companions. The female was named Yang Wan. Sucha had met her once when she went to the clan leader's place to trade. Yang Wan gave Sucha a friendly smile and asked if they could join her. Sucha didn't mind and agreed. While the young beastmen were flirting, Sucha was tearing up as she chopped her onions. She then discreetly took out the seasoning she had prepared in her dimension, mixed it with the meat and onions, and used her slightly swollen hand to skewer the meat. The aroma of the barbecue quickly filled the air, attracting the attention of the nearby beastmen. Yang Wan inhaled the scent and said jokingly, Sucha, why does your meat smell so good? We're all so hungry. Can you teach my male how to do it? Sucha then noticed that all the beastmen around them were staring at them. Fortunately, beastmen knew the value of meat and wouldn't ask for it for no reason. Here, use this. Mix it with the meat before you grill it, and it will taste great, Sucha said, ignoring the stares and pouring half of her seasoning into Yang Wan's hand. She then continued to grill her own meat. Perhaps it was due to Sucha's brilliant victory in the duel, or the delicious smell of her barbecue, but males came to express their interest in her. But Sucha politely turned them all down. Yang Wan's males grilled the meat according to Sucha's instructions. Although it wasn't as perfectly golden and crispy as Sucha's, it was still much better than what they usually ate. They all ate with great pleasure and praised Sucha profusely. Sucha leisurely ate her grilled meat, her gaze sweeping over the lively bonfire. Females in the beast world were precious and rare, and high-ranking females were even rarer. Yangshi was the highest-ranking female in the tribe. Hululuo and Hu Yuer were also second-rank beastmen. Besides them, most of the females were ordinary ones with no rank. Of course, as long as you were a female, you were popular in the beast world. Even the original owner, who couldn't transform, had no lack of suitors. I have a male already, Sucha said mechanically, repeating the same line. But then she looked up and froze when she saw the person in front of her. Why are you here? Hearing this, Mu Beichen's face showed his usual playful smile. Eating all by yourself isn't a good habit, you know. He then sat down next to Sucha without a word of apology. From a distance, he had seen Sucha's lips turn up in a faint smile, but her entire being radiated a profound sense of loneliness. He wasn't sure why, but he had just instinctively walked over to her. He couldn't even explain his own reasons. Sucha handed him a grilled skewer, giving him a strange look. Mu Beichen was instantly captivated by the food. He brought his own meat over and asked Sucha to grill it for him. Although Sucha's face was filled with disgust, she dutifully continued to grill. On the other side, Hu Yuer was furious. Yangshi, look, isn't that the snake beast man who used to follow you around? That useless Sucha is grilling meat to please him? Bah! How shameless! Following Hu Yuer's finger, Yangshi saw the warm and harmonious scene. Sucha was grilling meat and chatting with the males around her. Mu Beichen was eating Sucha's grilled meat with great relish, occasionally exchanging a few words with her. The warmth in his eyes was almost overflowing. Suddenly, Yangshi felt a surge of discomfort. She was the one who had saved Mu Beichen, yet here he was, laughing and chatting with Sucha. The gloomy atmosphere around Yangshi was quickly noticed by Mose. He followed her gaze and saw Sucha quietly grilling meat for a male. She was completely different from the love-struck idiot she used to be. For some reason, the current Sucha looked more pleasing to the eye. Meanwhile, Hululuo, seeing Mu Beichen's handsome face, had a sudden thought. Sister Yangshi, do you think it's possible for me to choose him as a partner? Yangshi felt a pang of jealousy, but to maintain her image, she forced a smile and said, Mu Beichen isn't from our tribe. Even though I saved him, I haven't been with him for long, so I don't know him that well. But Hu Yuer was now excited. Luluo, you're the witch doctor's daughter. You can definitely beat that fox-like Sucha. Hululuo frowned at Hu Yuer's insults. Sucha defeated a 4th-rank beastman, and you lost to her as well. It's not right for you to call her useless. Hu Yuer was silenced. So what? She's still a seductress. Sucha isn't a fox beastman. She's a Yuan beastman, which is why she doesn't have a beast form, Yangshi said, interrupting Hululuo. She didn't want to hear her defend Sucha anymore. The clan leader is coming soon, besides Mu Beichen, Is there anyone else you want to choose? The group immediately started discussing with great enthusiasm, abandoning their previous topic. Hu Yuer pulled her male partner, Lang Tu, closer and whispered something in his ear. Lang Tu nodded and turned away. Yunxi, who was closest to him, caught a glimpse of it. She glanced at Su Cha but didn't say anything. Soon, the clan leader's old and dignified voice echoed through the field. Today is the coming-of-age ceremony for Hulu Luo, the witch doctor's cub. Hulu Luo is the most likely candidate in our tribe to become the next witch doctor. It's your honor to be chosen by her. Of course, if you have a favorite beastman, you can be brave and express your feelings today. Anyone who successfully becomes a partner today will receive half a deer or half a pot of fine salt. A cheer erupted. Everyone was in high spirits. Hulu Luo's eyes scanned the males present and finally settled on a beastman in a luxurious blue cape in a corner. I choose him. Everyone followed Hulu Luo's gaze and saw the male beastman focused on eating a piece of grilled meat, completely oblivious to his surroundings. Su Cha nudged the foodie with her elbow and whispered, Hulu Luo chose you. Who? Why would someone choose me? Mu Bichin looked up in confusion, revealing his handsome face to everyone. This made Hulu Luo's heart race. Even Yangshi unconsciously stopped what she was doing and stared at Mu Bichin. Mose noticed Yangshi's change and felt a pang of sadness, but he quickly suppressed it. The clan leader frowned when he saw that Hulu Luo had chosen an outsider, but he still asked, New Snake Beastman, are you willing to be her male partner? Mu Bichin finally understood what was happening. His eyes narrowed slightly, and he smiled. I'm not willing. Hulu Luo's heart sank. She said, a bit defiantly, I could become the witch doctor. Why aren't you willing? Mu Bichin brushed a stray lock of hair from his forehead. He met Hulu Luo's gaze half-jokingly. Because I already have a female I like. Hulu Luo wanted to press for more answers, but the witch doctor's mother interrupted her. He's not from our tribe. Since he's not willing, you must choose again. Hulu Luo reluctantly looked at Mu Beichen and Su Cha, then followed her mother's words and chose another male, a fourth-rank beastman, Hukshu. Hukshu was overjoyed to be chosen, and immediately agreed. The clan leader asked Hulu Luo if she had any other males in mind, but she shook her head without interest. Still, since she was the witch doctor's cub, many males came forward and offered to be her partner. In the end, with the clan leader's blessing and Hulu Luo's consent, they cleared a space for the males to duel. Suchi had never seen a fight between male beastmen before, and was curious, so she went to watch. Duels between male beastmen were much simpler and more brutal. Most of them transformed into their beast forms and fought savagely. Watching the aura of their combat power, Sucha became more and more intrigued by the beast spirit of this world. She wondered if she could gain power through that spiritual energy. The battle ended quickly. A burly male from the tiger tribe won and, naturally, became Hulu Luo's second male partner. As the ceremony was about to end, Sucha looked at Mu Baishin with confusion. Aren't you going to pursue Yangshi? Why would I go after her? I'm not a member of your tribe. I'm leaving in a couple of days. Then the female you said you liked wasn't Yungzi, Sucha said, a bit surprised and amused. Mu Baishin raised an eyebrow and said, under his breath, I just made it up. Sucha's amusement was palpable. Isn't she your life-saving benefactor? Shouldn't you repay her with your body? Mu Bichin looked away and scoffed. Who told you a life-saving benefactor has to be repaid that way? I paid her in beast coins. Sucha put her hand on her forehead. The plot is off track again. She had just messed up Yunki's second male lead. But before she could finish sighing, someone called her name. Hulu Luo suddenly pointed at Sucha and said loudly, Sucha, my males want to compete against you. Seeing how friendly Sucha and Mu Beichen looked together, Hulu Luo had grown to dislike Sucha. If before she had just wanted to help Hu Yuer vent, now she genuinely wanted to teach this annoying female a lesson. Sucha looked down at her bandaged left hand and pointed at Hukshu on the stage. Are you sure you want me to fight him? If your hand is hurt, you can have your male fight for you, Yungshi said kindly. Unless you don't have any other males besides that useless Kangyon? Hu Yuer also stepped in to stir the pot. I'll let you find a male to fight my male, as long as he's willing, Hulu Luo said, as if being generous. There was a huge crowd watching, but no one came forward. Mu Bishin couldn't help but see that these females were targeting Sucha. His brow furrowed. A wave of indescribable annoyance washed over him. He truly disliked this behavior. I don't want a new male right now, so I refuse to compete. I'll fight you when my hand is healed, Sucha said, showing no signs of compromise. She looked coldly at the rage-fueled Hululuo. Seeing that Sucha wouldn't fight, Hululuo immediately said, "You're too scared? Then just give up. You can just shout 3 times in front of everyone that Sucha is not as good as Hululuo." Everyone thought Sucha would get angry, argue with them, and then leave in disgrace as she usually did. However, Sucha, the center of attention, smirked maliciously. "I can fight, but you'll have to put up a decent prize. I'm already taking a huge risk fighting with a broken arm. Is that what you're willing to pay?" Huyuer sneered. "Just name what you want." Sucha's smirk didn't fade. Her cold voice was loud enough for everyone to hear. "My demand is simple. If I win, you and Hululuo will apologize to me on the spot. And from now on, you and Youngsi will stay away from me. You'll avoid me whenever you see me." Hearing this, Hululuo could no longer maintain her gentle image. Her face was filled with anger. The tension in the air made everyone hold their breath. "Sucha, what you're asking for is too much. For me to agree, my male has to be able to fight too," Youngsi said, being reasonable yet unyielding. Sucha glanced at Mose, who was frowning next to her. She agreed easily. "Fine, and if you lose, you have to apologize to me on your knees. From now on, whenever we appear in the same place, you will leave. No problem." Sucha's powerful voice echoed in everyone's ears. The clan leader, Monian, although he felt it was inappropriate, could not interfere in a conflict between females. "All right. Then, clan leader, and all the elders, please be our witnesses. The loser must fulfill the agreement," Huyuer announced loudly, her tone filled with arrogance. She was 80% confident that Lang Tu would win alone, but with Mose on her side, she was certain of victory. "Sucha, you can choose 3 male companions to participate in this competition with you," the clan leader said. Everyone looked at Sucha with curiosity, waiting for her to choose. Mu Beichin couldn't hold back anymore. He tugged on Sucha's sleeve. "Do you want to consider choosing me? I can reluctantly agree to help you defeat Mose." Mu Beichin's tone was flippant, as if he were joking, but his eyes were unusually serious. Unfortunately, Sucha didn't even spare this culprit a glance. "Go away. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't have to fight with an injury." Mu Beichin felt a pang of guilt and said, a bit hurt, "I told you not to fight me. You were the one who insisted. Are you really not going to choose me?" Mu Beichin still tried to make her reconsider, but Sucha was already untying the cloth and walking toward the center of the crowd. Sucha walked up to Yang Ying and whispered something to her. Yang Ying was stunned for a moment. Then she nodded with a worried expression. After giving her instructions, Sucha turned to the clan leader and said, "No need to choose other males. I'll fight alone." The crowd gasped in disbelief. "Sucha has gone mad. Mose is the most talented 5th-rank beastman in the tribe." Even the clan leader couldn't help but try to reason with her. "Sucha, you're just an ordinary female. Mose is a 5th-rank beastman. And Huyuer and Hululuo's males are both 4th rank. Sucha didn't respond and walked onto the stage. The first to fight was Huyua's 4th-rank wolf beastman, Lang Tu. At the clan leader's signal, Sucha was the first to attack, closing in quickly. She moved so fast that she was almost a blur. Lang Tu, relying on his beast instincts, barely dodged. But in the next second, Sucha delivered a powerful kick to his chest. The kick was so strong that it made a cracking sound. 3 moves, and the fight was over. "Lang Tu, you fool! Why didn't you transform?" Huyuer scolded him angrily. Lang Tu came to his senses, glanced at his female, and walked off the stage in silence. Those who had been impressed saw that he hadn't transformed because Sucha was too fast. She hadn't given him a chance. "First round, Sucha wins," the clan leader said. "Do you need a break before the next round?" "No. Let's continue," Sucha said flatly. The next opponent was Hukshu, who was also a 4th-rank beastman. Hukshu learned from Lang Tu's mistake and immediately transformed into his beast form at the start of the match, attacking Sucha first. After a few moves, Sucha had 3 scratches on her face from Hukshu's claws, but Hukshu's back was bleeding from her dagger. Sucha hastily wiped her face with her sleeve, moved her bone knife to her left hand, and took out a small knife that Kang Yuan had made for her from her sleeve, holding both in a dual-wielding stance. As the next attack came, Sucha twisted her body and spun in the air, using the momentum to dodge Hukshu's attack. As Hukshu landed, blood spurted from a deep gash on his thigh. Just as he was about to attack again, a voice stopped him. "Hugh, you've lost. Go get that wound on your leg stitched up. If you keep fighting, you'll bleed to death." The person who spoke was one of the witch doctor's male companions. From their vantage point, they could clearly see that Hukshu had been cut on a major artery in his leg. Sucha stopped her assault and walked past Hukshu, signaling for the clan leader to continue. Next is Mose, he said, his voice a bit heavy. Suche, I don't want to fight you. You can't beat me. The 5th rank is a watershed in the beast world. Some beastmen remain 4th rank their entire lives. Although you can use your skills to defeat 2 4th rank beastmen, those advantages won't work against a 5th rank. But Sucha was unfazed. She was determined to tear apart Hu Yuer and her group's arrogance with her own strength and gain the absolute power to control her own life, once and for all. Although the cost might be high, she wouldn't know if she could do it without trying. Mu Beichin was deep in thought. Why did Sucha, a female without a beast tattoo, dare to stand in front of a 5th rank beastman without flinching? Soon, Mose and Sucha began to fight. Both were skilled. Compared to Mose's graceful, elegant movements, Sucha's were much more refined. She had no unnecessary moves and went for the vital points with every strike, forcing Mose to transform into his beast form. Sister Yangshi, don't worry, Hululuo said, comforting Yangshi. Sucha can't possibly beat Brother Mose. Although Yangshi knew that Mose couldn't lose, her brows were still furrowed. When did Sucha become so strong? Not only can she easily defeat 2 4th rank beastmen, but she's also giving Mose a hard time. No matter the outcome of this fight, she has already lost. In terms of looks and combat, she can't compare to a female who was once her loser. Why did it turn out this way? Sucha was already a little out of breath. To conserve her energy, she had ended the first 2 fights as quickly as possible. Mose's speed and agility were not any less than hers. In fact, he had the upper hand. Seeing her left hand about to be re-injured, Sucha prepared to give up and counterattack. But then, the white tiger's massive body suddenly shifted to the side. Sucha's eyes widened in fury. The powerful bone knife she was about to use was unexpectedly pulled back. She used the momentum to roll away and said coldly, "Next time, this knife will take your life." "Brother Mose, what are you doing? This is a competition! You can't be lenient!" Hululuo shouted, annoyed. Little did she know that if Sucha hadn't held back, Mose would have already been seriously injured. Mose's eyes were fixed on the female in front of him. His expression grew serious again. "Sucha, I won't hold back this time." Seeing the sharpness in Mose's eyes, Sucha felt as if she were back in her military training days. Fearless and courageous, she knew that on a battlefield, you had to give it your all. After all, a single loss could cost you your life. This time, she would not lose.